Damiano,
Hey, is this Bay Ragney?
this is me, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I saw you called in at the very end of the sports show.
Uh,
I got your press release. As I'm putting it up, I had to be nosy and check out what you got going on and what you're doing and what you're up to over there. And instantly I see, like, you're this huge Randy Rhoads fan. I'm like, all right, this kid just won a spot in my heart.
thank you.
So how does how's a young kid discover Randy Rhoads? That's what I really was curious to find out.
Well, it was all through my father, actually. He got me an iPod for my birthday when I was about 11, and he put his whole his MP3 player playlist on it, and I stumbled across Ozzy Osbourne in the artist section, and there was a song in there called Revelation Mother Earth Live.
Nice.
So I started listening to that on the school bus, and I got to the solo. After the solo, I was like, holy shit, I got to go home and pick up that guitar he bought me 4 years ago that I never touched. So that's how it all started, basically through my dad.
That's awesome. You have a very good father there.
Thank you.
He's a smart man, a very smart man.
Yeah.
So I guess you kind of discovered Randy and Ozzy's music and music in general before you really actually decided to pick the guitar up then.
Yeah, that all basically sparked me picking up the guitar, was listening to all that music before I even played.
Nice. Now, did you go to take lessons or?
No, I taught myself how to play guitar. I wouldn't have been able to, though, if my parents didn't start me on piano first. My mother started me on piano when I was 3. She, heard an interview with Prince, who said if you want to teach a child music, you start them on the piano first, because if they can play the piano, they can play any instrument that's out there. So that's how that all started. I was able to teach myself guitar through piano.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So you got to be a pretty dedicated, yes, but very I guess that's the word, dedicated, to where you're actually at a young age, because you're only what now, 18 now?
Yeah.
To be as accomplished as you become by 18 years old, that's very dedicated and very your heart's there. Your heart is so into it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
yeah, when it comes to, being dedicated, when I first picked up the guitar for the first 4 or 5 years, I was just sitting in my room with that guitar, and I'd get home from school at around 4 o'clock. I'd look at the clock after I picked the guitar up, and it was 8 o'clock. So I was doing that every day for the past 4 years, because I wanted to, after hearing a song like Revelation Mother Earth, it made me want to be able to play like that. So I figured if I want to be able to play like that, I got to practice. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And the scary part is actually it's today is the 35th anniversary of Randy's last show, and then tomorrow will be the tragic accident 35 years later. It's crazy how time has flown.
Yeah, exactly.
And you actually had the chance to play on one of the Randy Rhoads Remembered show. I guess when they came around to the East Coast, you got the chance to play up on stage with Rudy and them guys.
Yeah, it was the first year they ever did Randy Rhoads Remembered. It was 2014, and they had just done the show at NAMM in January, and they were coming to the East Coast for, a tour through June into July, I believe.
Okay.
And they put out a contest on their Facebook page for guitar players to submit videos of them playing Crazy Train, so they can pick somebody to get up on stage and play with them, and to pick what date they wanted to do. Luckily, they came to Connecticut, where I live, so I submitted my video against, there were at least 20 other entries. So I believe I had just turned 16 at the time, and I didn't think I was going to win it all. I just figured, why not? I love Randy Rhoads. I'm going to do it.
Sure.
So, and luckily 2 weeks later, I get a notice on Facebook saying that I got picked as the winner to play with Rudy Sarzo and Brian Tichy.
Oh, that's amazing. Rudy's such a nice guy, too.
Yeah, he was really cool when I got to meet him, as well as Kelly Rhodes, Randy's brother, was really down to earth and very nice to us.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I've been doing this show now. It's like 4.5 years, and I've probably gone through almost every Randy Rhoads connection there's been. There's it's funny. I'm one of the missing ones that I'm supposed to be hopefully getting finally to do next week is Brad Gillis. But
really?
Here, I'll give you a little taste of this. Since you just said Kelly, you'll enjoy this one.
Okay. Hey everybody, this is Kelly Rhoads, and you are listening to Totally Driven Radio.
That's cool. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know Kelly played piano until I met him.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's got a couple albums out that he did.
Yeah, I think he recently put one out. It's like his 4th or 5th piano album.
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing.
But he's really good at it.
Yeah. Which and you mentioned piano, and like if people go looking you up on YouTube and all, I mean, they're probably thinking they're going to see you doing your rock songs and some Randy Rhoads stuff and all. But here, I mean, you're there doing piano and doing like Liberace songs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part about me that people are like, really? They just don't expect it.
Yeah.
Because I started off with piano first, like I mentioned earlier, which a lot of people don't know because I don't perform live on the piano much. I stopped that, performing on piano when I was about 13, when I would have to do piano competitions and recitals and, the winners' performances at competitions, that all kind of got, I felt like there was no emotion to the playing that I could give to it, and that went for a long time until, I saw Liberace and he was doing these classical pieces, in like 5 different styles, and I was like, how come no one else plays like that? So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the funny part about my musical background.
Yeah, that's why it was funny, because I was sitting there and as I was putting some questions together and all, I was going through to YouTube and I'm listening, and I was listening to one of the Liberace songs, and my wife just looked at me. She goes, "Liberace?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Who's doing that?" I'm like, "The kid I'm interviewing a little bit." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." I know. We were both a little shocked.
Yeah, I mean, it's become such a big part of how I perform. It's helped me, just the way he commanded a stage back when he was alive. I mean, I don't wear clothes as flashy as he did, but I mean, it also kind of gave me some sort of sense for putting some sort of image together for myself, and, it's just become a big part of, my life with, also like audience interaction, the way he would involve the audience in his shows.
Right.
I mean, it ended up turning into me performing piano live again in an actual Liberace tribute show that someone here does in Connecticut.
Oh, wow. So,
yeah, and I ended up wearing the flashy costumes, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. I can see why he did it. So,
you know what, though? I mean, that shows right there, like, and I'll even say, being a diehard Randy Rhoads fan, like, he would look up to you and be, like, proud of you, like, because you're a true musician. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just limited to just Ozzy or another influence of yours, like Richie Blackmore? Like, you're open to all aspects of music.
Well, yeah, because you can definitely take different things from all aspects of music and put it into your own style and your own playing, which I've learned a lot from playing with other bands and listening to everybody else's musical tastes, that, I end up finding a lot of things that I like, and definitely taking those things and putting them, trying to incorporate them into my playing. Like, recently I wasn't the biggest Kiss or Ace Frehley fan, but my friend took me to see Ace Frehley play live, and I was like, wow, that's something I can definitely put into my playing style. I really loved what he did.
Yeah. Ace is the man.
Yes, he is.
That's what I grew up. I grew up in the 70s, so I grew up on Kiss. Kiss was the big thing for kids in the 70s. And then, once Ozzy came solo and Crazy Train came out, and I was like 11 years old at the time. And it was like the whole world just changed. And it was like Randy Rhoads. And then it was the same thing kind of for me, where I was bought a guitar when I was a kid, and I never picked it up. And then it was like, okay, well, now I'm going to try to pick this thing back up again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Randy just has that inspiration factor about his playing that it's like, to me, nobody else really had that effect on me. I listened to Eddie Van Halen a lot, and when I was younger, and I tried learning that, and I was like, there's just too much going on here and too many different things people are saying on how to play this stuff. It's like, why even bother? But then listening to Randy, it was like, there was actually some sort of sense of what he was doing.
Right.
And I also feel like it had a lot more personality as well. I mean, both Eddie and Randy had great personality in their actual playing. Mm-hmm. But it was like Randy had this weird factor over Eddie to me that I was just like, there was just something special about it.
I totally agree. Agree. There was just so much, I don't know. Randy's music, still to this day, when I listen to it, I just get such a feeling that overcomes me. Compared to I listen to Van Halen, and it's more of just like the complete package of the band, where it's that good time rock and roll, summertime hard rock, classic stuff, iconic stuff. But you listen to Randy, and it's just like a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's like listening to Mozart of the 80s, basically.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was, because he wasn't just doing simple rock tunes that were, basic chords and simple riffs. He was actually composing pieces.
Yeah. Yep.
And he put a lot of time and effort into them, like composers of the past did, and that's basically what he was turning into.
Yep.
And it was so sad to see that he didn't even live to do another record.
I know. That's the scary thought, is like, even though there's such little body of music there, but it's still so much.
Exactly. Like, there's, like, even just with the double track guitars,
mm-hmm.
that's like just a lot of music right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now with your band, like, I guess like the big thing now too is like a lot of these School of Rock things. So being this fact that you're self-taught, like, how did you put your band together?
Well, with my band, the good thing about my band compared to a lot of others is that I actually have a family member in it, so I don't have to work around much with other people's schedules. So with my band, I have my sister playing bass. And with her, 2 years ago, I needed a bass player to do a show for somebody's party. And I was like, here, Olivia, take the bass, learn these songs. You got 4 days till the actual show we're supposed to do. And surprisingly, she never played an instrument in her life. She learned all those songs in 4 days.
Holy cow.
And I was just, my mouth like dropped to the floor because I didn't know that this little tiny 15-year-old girl could play any of this stuff on a bass in 4 days. It just surprised me that she did that.
I'll tell you what, I'm 47, and if you handed me a bass and told me you have 4 days to learn these songs, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just surprised me that she did that, and then it ended up turning into this thing where her and I would be doing those Randy Rhoads videos together that are on YouTube. And then she ends up being in my band, and then we end up writing together, and it was, I just totally never expected it to go that far. You know, wow. I figured, you know, we're brother and sister, we'd probably end up killing each other first, but...
Right.
You know, it turned out into something great. And then with our drummer, you know, when we were in the recording process, the guy who was helping us out in the beginning, he found us our drummer who lives in West Haven, and he's about the same age as us, got the same influences. And then we all just took our influences and made this band basically what it is and started writing some music.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now your style, I mean, like the songs from what I'm hearing, it's more like a pop punk style.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always liked the pop punk stuff for some reason. I was really big into Green Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back when I was a teenager, especially the American Idiot album, that was very inspirational on me because I saw how everything was so simple, yet all the songs seemed to tell a story with Green Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked putting that a lot into my writing, but I also didn't want to be one of those guitar players that could only play chords and not really do much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like to really put a bit of everything into what the writing is. And yes, definitely, you know, with the pop stuff, there's funny thing is, you know, like being a rock guitar player, there is some pop stuff I like, you know, like when you listen to some of Prince's material or Michael Jackson or even, you know, Rick Astley who does, you know, the Rick Roll videos and stuff. So, you know, not everyone expects, you know, that stuff to come out of somebody that they're just used to is playing, you know, metal and rock and roll on guitar.
You know, it's funny. You keep mentioning Prince, and I'm guessing I just put two and two together because I'd seen you're also known as the new rock Prince.
Yeah, that was something put on. I believe it's the website we have, the Damiano Christian website. That, you know, when I was first starting out, you know, me and my mom have been doing most of, you know, a lot of this until we met Chip, the publicist. But back then, you know, we were on our own and we were like trying to come up with or figure stuff out that, you know, for branding wise, that would just catch attention. So we figure, you know, I'm a young kid trying to get my name out there, and, you know, I don't know how she came up with that, but one day she did, and she put it on there. So,
if it works, that's all that matters, right?
Exactly. Whatever works, works.
So now you just released a new EP late last month called Built in Good Value.
Yes. Yes, we released that March 13th, so about last Monday, I believe. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
And I saw the first single video, again, going back to, like, roots of rock and roll. You did the Beatles classic.
Yeah, we did She Loves You for the music video, and, you know, we wanted to treat it kind of as the single on that album as well, or the EP.
Nice. Now, what made you choose the Beatles song?
Well, since, with growing up with music and whatnot, and playing for a while, I just kind of want to, just get my break and get into the music scene like all the other big bands have done. And just by, observing how bands have done it in the past, the only one that I thought really broke through with the biggest impact was Van Halen with, because they made it big with You Really Got Me. There's a story with Eddie saying that at like 1 o'clock in the morning, the radio played their version of You Really Got Me from the new album, and that's how they broke through. So I figured, why not try something like that? Take an old song that doesn't have much, technicality on it. It's a simple song like how the Kinks was with You Really Got Me. Put a very technical and modern solo on it, give the guitars some more power compared to, the very early amplifiers they had back then, and just try and make it more powerful and hopefully get some recognition or get my break out of it.
But I mean, it sounds great. Like I said, I was like, yeah, okay, this rocks. This is good stuff, man.
Thank you.
How was the video? Was a video? It was a fun thing to do, huh?
Yeah, that was really fun. We got to shoot a lot of the band stuff in an actual studio where they have a sound stage for bands to play with, like professional lighting and soundboard. And the fun part about that was, even though, everyone was telling me, oh, when you guys are playing, you're going to, lip sync everything. None of your stuff's going to be turned on. But, me being who I am, I told the other two, I'm like, guys, turn your amps on, turn the microphones on, and let's actually play the song, because I always had this feeling like if I'm going to lip sync it, I don't know where I am, and I feel like I don't know what I'm playing if I can't hear what's coming out of my guitar.
Right.
So it also just made things more natural to actually play the song for the video, and then they, like they do in editing, they take the actual mastered file, put that over the video, but, for video purposes, so that way it looked right and it synced right with the actual track, I was like, let's just actually play, let's do what I say for once. So,
you had the power.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So, all right. So now that it's all out and the single's out there and it's starting to get some plays and stuff like that, like, so now what's the plan now? Like, where do you go from here for the rest of the year? You guys going to like do any like little mini tours or anything, or?
Well, hopefully we'd like to do a mini tour. It's just the matter of finding places to play, especially here in Connecticut. Most of the bands around here are like playing in, it's like a big bar scene. There's no places like if you were to go to like Massachusetts or New York where they actually have theaters or stages that bands play on, with light rigs and a big soundboard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have a couple dates in the summer, like summer gigs for like, block parties and whatnot, like how Van Halen used to do when they were called Mammoth. But hopefully we've entered the contest to open for Bon Jovi at Mohegan Sun.
Oh,
so, nice. Yeah, I'm hoping that we could definitely get into that, and then maybe that sparks something for a mini tour, because, when you're kind of doing everything on your own, it's kind of like, okay, where am I going to find now at least 5 or 10 dates on weekends for my band to go into different areas and play in like 2 different places in the same weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like how it used to be. They had like in Los Angeles with all the different clubs that the bands could play, like the Whiskey and the Starwood with the stages, and they could fill 200 people in there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If you guys start putting something together and you come down, if you're able to make it towards the Philly area, let me know, because I'm putting shows together down here now. And actually, as we've been talking, I've been going back and forth and just finalized the first all ages show I'm putting together. in June. So, yeah. I mean,
really, that's cool.
Yeah, would love to have you down here. I mean, we're doing it in clubs and all, but
that's
gotta
cool.
get it.
Yeah, I've been to Philadelphia before. That's where we did. That's where we did the "She Loves You" track. We did it with producer David Ivory, who produced Hailstorm.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, so that was a fun experience, and coming down to Philadelphia, I mean, it was really cool.
Cool. Yeah, he's been around the scene for many, many years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, where can everybody get the new EP? And actually, you have a few other EPs out before that, correct?
Yes, I had done those when I was about 13, 14, and I think even as late as 15. And that was like, I like to call that stages where I didn't know what I was doing. My mother, we were trying to just be opportunistic. She, found this producer in New York, and we just started doing music and had all these plans to put out, an album out. And back then I really didn't know what I was doing, when it came to recording. So I like to think of this new EP that we put out as kind of like my actual first product.
Gotcha.
Because, I actually put the time, I was able to put the time into it, and, I was able to do what I wanted when it came to mixing and mastering. I was able to sit in on all those sessions and tell them what I wanted, go through what I wanted, how things to sound and whatnot. And, with this EP, I feel like it's my actual first release compared to the others that are online.
Right.
Yeah, and you can get Built in Good Value, the EP. You could get it on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, and Spotify. If you go to the Damiano Christian Facebook page, there will be all the links for it, and we are working on getting hard copies as well. So we are definitely looking into getting CDs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned your mom a couple of times. I mean, your parents, they must be, initially they must have been shocked by this thing, but it seems like they're hugely supportive of everything.
Yes, they really are. I mean, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have anything that I do right now. I mean, I wouldn't be playing music if it weren't for them. They're the ones that pushed me, and when I first started on piano, I didn't want to do it. My mother's the one that pushed me and said, no, you're going to practice, and sat behind me every day and made me practice. So until I liked it. And yeah, I mean, they basically, they support everything I do. They bands everywhere, and they, to all my rehearsals and gigs and whatnot. So
cool.
They're definitely like the driving force behind this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you got some good stuff going on here. I'm looking forward to hearing more and hearing the rest of the EP, and looking forward to some more Randy Rhoads influence coming out of you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping on doing some more Randy Rhoads stuff. Luckily, I do an actual Randy Rhoads tribute band here in Connecticut. So, yeah, we do the whole Diary of a Madman stage show with the castle backdrop and all the props.
Dude, and now what's that called?
That's called Ozzy America.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we put that together about a year ago, and we were like, we want to pay tribute to Randy and do something good, and we put all the costumes on, like, from that exact tour with the studded vests, and, I was able to obtain, some of the guitars and the amplifiers to use in the show.
Nice.
I found stuff online, and it's basically a really fun show, and, we always like to do it for Randy, so it's a really fun show.
Here too in Philly. We got to talk. I got to hit you up on Facebook. We got to become friends.
Definitely, yeah. Just I know on Facebook I'm not Damiano Christian. I actually use my real last name for Facebook, so it would be Damiano Scarfi.
Okay.
Yeah, just the word scarf with an I at the end. Yeah.
Now, as a guitarist, I always I saw you're also a fan of Ritchie Blackmore, and I always got to ask a person: did you ever sit and watch the Deep Purple performance from the California Jam, 1974?
Oh, let me think. That's not the outside one, is it?
Yeah, the outside one where he goes crazy and starts smashing his guitar.
Yes, I saw that, and he blows up the Marshall stack behind them.
Yes. Okay. Just making sure that's a valuable lesson in rock and roll right there.
Yeah, I mean, funny thing about Ritchie is I actually got to meet him a couple years ago. He does his Blackmore's Night show, I guess, at these Renaissance fairs when they're not touring. So as I was walking out of the fair, he was walking in right past me. So I went back and I actually got to meet Ritchie and talk to him.
Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
awesome.
he's a really cool dude.
Very awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, hey, man, this has been great talking to you. And like I said, look forward to hearing more from you. And, yeah, I got to look up your Ozzy America stuff. Check that out.
Thank you so much, Bay.
Thank you, man.
Awesome. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much.
You too. Take care, Damiano.
You too. Thank you.